Thank you guys so much. How many of you have seen me on Channel 6 before? Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So the reason we are here today, you guys, is everybody in this room that you see really cares about you. And we want to talk to you about a topic that I cover on the news every single day, that they deal with in their jobs every single day. So your administrators, your faculty, your staff, they have made all of this possible, along with the Mays County Drug Reduction Outreach Project. So we call them the DROP Task Force for short. So we're doing these assemblies all over Mays County because even though this is a problem in Oklahoma, these painkillers, prescription painkillers, these overdoses, it is a real big problem in Mays County specifically. So that's why we're coming to all these schools in Mays County. So we have some really important people here today who have taken time to come here and talk to you a little bit. So I want to tell you who they are. This is Mr. Lance Lang. You guys are going to hear from him later. He rocks. He's awesome. Superintendent Lori Helton. The middle school principal, Michelle Middleton. The high school principal, Glenn Biebelheimer. High school counselor, Kathy McCullough. We also have Chasma Hawks, the student council advisor. You guys raising your hands. Keita Hendricks, the media advisor. And then over here, this is prior assistant police chief and DROP co-chair James Williard. Owner of Advantage Testing, DROP co-chair Amy Gwartney. This is an assistant U.S. attorney from Tulsa. You guys, her name is Joy Thorpe. Assistant District Attorney Kaylee Strain is here. Chouteau Police Chief Kyle Murray is here. Mays County Under Sheriff Tim Thompson is here. And then you guys may not be able to see all these folks, but there's a whole line of folks right here who are area business people, area community leaders. They come here today because everybody wants you to know that you matter. And I know you guys are thinking nothing like this would ever happen to me or my family, but I'm telling you, we see it every day. We see it with teenagers and with kids. Everybody thinks these prescription painkillers are safe because they come from a doctor or they're in your grandma's medicine cabinet. But you guys, people are dying. People are dying from these drugs. They're getting addicted, they're overdosing, and they're dying, especially, like I said, in Mays County. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, I'm going to ask James and Amy to come on up and share a little bit more about this DROP task force that they created.
I'd like to introduce you to the Drop the Numbers Opiate Campaign. Our goal for this campaign is to reduce the number of overdose deaths in Mays County. The task force is composed of community members who desire to address the local drug epidemic. The focus is on educating the community on the dangers of opiates.
All right, guys, so here's the deal. There's a lot of numbers in this campaign that you're going to be hearing, but the main one that we want you to focus on is 4,583,585. That's the number of opiate pills. And when we say opiates, we're talking about pain pills. That's the number of pain pills picked up in Mays County pharmacies in 2016. Okay, that's a lot of pills. That's 112 pills per Mays County person. So let's say there's 40,000 people that live in Mays County. That means each person picked up 112 pills for that statistic. That's worse than the people that live in Tulsa. Okay, so we're trying to tell you that's a big problem around here, and we're here trying to help you guys realize that people are dying because of this. We're number 2 in Cherokee Nation. Okay, if you don't include Tulsa County, we're number 2 in Cherokee Nation for overdose deaths. So we brought these people together today to tell you guys that we don't want you to die. We care about you, and so we want to educate you today so you don't have to inform your family of your death tomorrow. Now, Joy Thorpe, she's going to come and talk. She's from the U.S. Attorney's Office, and that's a big deal. Okay, she prosecutes cases all over Oklahoma.
Yes, my name is Joy Thorpe, and I'm an assistant United States attorney. And what that basically means is when I go to court, I go to federal court, and I get to represent the United States of America. It's pretty cool, right? So what Chief Williard had asked me to come and speak to y'all today about is about this opioid crisis, and in particular about the prosecution part of the opioid crisis. Now, many of you, if I were to ask you to raise your hand and said how many of you all have, and I'm not asking you to raise your hands, but if I were to ask you if you have friends or loved ones who are currently taking an opioid, probably a majority of y'all would raise your hands, right? Okay? So I would also imagine that if I were to ask y'all if you knew where they kept those pills, I bet the majority of y'all would raise your hands too, right? So what I want you to understand is obviously peer pressure is real bad in middle school and in high school. So there may be like some sort of new pair of shoes or a new car or something like that. So you might see those pills and go, man, I could sell those and I could make a whole bunch of money, right? So let's say you do that. Let's say you go and you sell those pills to your buddy, to whoever it might be, or maybe someone that's like real popular and you kind of want them to like you. Do y'all know you can be charged with a felony distribution of a controlled drug substance? You can be charged in federal court. That's kind of a big deal. So let's take it even further. Let's say that you sell those pills to someone or you give those pills to someone, they take it and they die. Did y'all know that you can be charged with felony first-degree murder? You know what that carries? Life or life without parole in prison. How many of y'all want to go to prison for 45 years? I know I don't. So I'm not here to try to scare anybody. I'm not here to try to make y'all, be worried about your future. And I know nobody in here is excited about spending the rest of your life in prison. My purpose of being here today is just to inform you and to let you know that there are consequences if you do this type of activity. Now, you have a lot of people here today that are supportive of you and want to help you make good decisions. And so I thank y'all for having me today. Please make good decisions. I know I look real nice up here, but if you get me in court, I'm really not. So y'all mind your P's and Q's, okay?
And she is not playing because I have seen her in court, okay? She is a mean, tough one in court. And yes, you guys, the truth is, there is an element of this, these painkillers out there that not just if you sell them, but if you give them to your buddy. Say you had a jacked up shoulder and the doctor gave you some pain pills. Well, now your buddy's got a jacked up knee and you're like, here, just borrow a couple of mine, I'll make you feel better. Even that can get you sent to prison. You don't have to sell them, even just giving them away. So just keep that in mind. And while there is that element of this, that people can go to jail, people can get arrested, they can get prosecuted, that's not why we are here today. What we're here today to do, to tell you is, there's a way to get help. You guys, my mama fell a few years ago at a church, at a wedding, and broke her back. She has to take painkillers. So I get it, but we are so careful with those. We keep them hidden, we keep them locked away, we write down every time she uses them, because you guys, they are so powerful that you don't even know what's happening. I covered a grandma, you guys, little church-going grandma, and they gave her painkillers because she had a problem. She didn't even know she had become addicted. She went to rehab 3 times and still couldn't kick them. And she was like, well, I don't even know what's happening to me. I interviewed a little girl the other day, you guys, and she was like, Lori, I'm the last person you would ever think. She grew up in a nice home, she's got good parents, she went to church, she played sports, she went to Girl Scouts. She gets pregnant after high school, and of course, what do they give her after the baby? Painkillers. She's home alone with that baby and kind of nervous and stressed and doesn't know what to do, and the more she took, the better it felt. And the more she felt like, okay, I got this, well then the doctor wouldn't give her any more. Y'all, this nice little girl from a nice family turned to heroin. She was so freaked out she couldn't even give herself to her the first time. She had her boyfriend inject it, and after that, she's now been addicted to heroin for 7 years. She just went back after our interview for another chance at rehab. And those are the people who are lucky, because those are the people who might get better. But what I'm covering every day, you guys, are these mamas and these daddies sitting in front of my camera because their kid has died, because they took too many painkillers, because then it took them to heroin, and they can't get those kids back. I don't want to interview one more crying mama or daddy because their kid, who had a great future ahead of them, decided these were safe. They come from a doctor, they were in grandma's medicine cabinet. How bad could they be? You guys, these things are bad. All right, so some of your fellow students today have created a video that really kind of shows how this starts. This is not like some drug dealer out in the alleyway, you guys. This is normal, everyday people like you and me. It starts easy and then it becomes kind of out of control. So we want you to check out this video.
surgery on your knee?
A week ago.
A week ago, and you're still having a lot of pain? Can you walk on it at all?
It hurts really bad to walk on it. Like it. I mean, I can, but I prefer not to.
Yeah.
Without any pain meds.
Okay. How much have you been taking?
The amount it tells me to.
Okay. And does it last long? Does it?
It doesn't
work?
feel like it lasts long, but then I wait a couple of hours and take another one.
Okay. All right. Well, we could probably get you a little bit more, just to get you through until the severe pain wears off, and hopefully that'll maybe another week or so get you through. Think that'll be all right? Okay. All right. Well, I'll get that prescription sent in for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
I'm going to pick up a prescription for Brittany Maxwell, please. Okay. Let's see. There you are. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.
Brittany, I've been wanting to talk to you for a while, and I just want it to be just between you and me, okay? I've been kind of watching you a little bit and just talking to you. I just feel like that something just feels kind of off, like something's wrong. I mean, you haven't been acting the same, you haven't been talking the same. You used to tell me a lot, and you're not telling me anything anymore. And I just was wondering, is there something going on that, that you wanted to tell me? I mean, ever since you had your, surgery and stuff, it just feels like things are just getting worse and worse, and I just don't know what to do about it. I mean, I don't want to go and talk to anybody about it because that's how concerned I am. But did the doctor put you on medication or anything after your surgery? None at all?
Nope, I'm fine.
So it can't be that then, I guess. Are you hanging around with different people that I don't know about, or that, that you normally don't hang around with? No different crowd or anything?
Nope, just been hanging out at home in my room.
Well, some in your room alone, really?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of concerns me because it just feels weird. It feels different.
I'm fine.
Well, sometimes people who have issues and problems like that will sometimes say, I'm fine, there's nothing wrong with me, when in reality, something's going on. Okay, now I'm going to keep an eye on you, and if you need to talk to me about anything, okay, anything, I want you to feel like that you can come to me, and we'll try to deal with it from there, okay?
Okay.
All right, so do I have that confidence?
Yes, you have that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'm good. Oh, yeah. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. I'm good. Text me. Okay. Bye.
Okay, you guys, let's give a big hand to the folks who made that video. now. So this would have been the reality for Brittany, right? Had that really happened to her. And this is a demonstration, obviously, but this is where Brittany would have ended up. Not making a video, not hanging out with you guys, but here. Bringing this here today, this was not our idea. This was not the grown-ups' idea. This was your fellow students, because they want you to understand this is real. So look up here, 725 little luminaries. You see those? That's the number of people who died in Oklahoma from an opioid drug overdose in 2016. So now picture 725 of these in the state of Oklahoma in a year. Every one of these comes with what? Somebody who's crying, a family, a mama, a daddy, a grandma, a niece, a nephew, a cousin, your best friend. So when we tell you guys that we care about you, and we tell you this is a huge problem, we need you to see the reality of it. And I know this is a hard demonstration, but that's exactly how it starts. How many of you have had somebody in your family get their wisdom teeth taken out? How many of you in your family have had somebody get a back surgery or had a jacked up knee, right? And they get painkillers, you guys, and nobody thinks it's gonna turn into this. Everybody thinks, I'll be fine. And certainly, nobody wants this. Nobody even likes to see this, right? Because it all reminds us of somebody we've lost. And sometimes losses cannot be prevented. We get that. But this type of loss from these drugs, it can be prevented. And how lucky are you guys? You're like me, I grew up in a small town, and you're so lucky because your teachers and administrators, if you go to them and say, it's not me, but it's my mama, and I don't know what to do about her because she's taking too many pills, or it's my grandpa, and I don't know what to do, or it's my brother, and I don't know what to do, they're gonna help you. They've got all these resources, people over here at this table, they can help you help your loved one. But you've got to be willing to speak about it. You've got to be willing to say, you know, here's what happened. I interview a lot of people in jail. I mean, just this week I had a jailhouse interview, if you guys saw it. And sometimes they tell me that going to jail was the best thing that ever happened to them because they finally got straight. And they didn't end up here. We don't want you or anyone you love to end up like this. All right, you guys, so now I want you to hear from Lance. Lance is a cool dude, and you're going to figure that out pretty quickly. And Lance is from Mays County. He's a Pryor kid. He was a preacher's kid. You can imagine the pressure that comes with, right? Growing up in a small town as the preacher's kid. So he went over to Pryor, and he gets out of high school. He runs a $30 million management project. I mean, he's only 25 years old and running this huge project, so more pressure, more pressure. And of course, he kind of feels that, oh, maybe if I had a little help, right? Maybe if I had a little help getting through all this. And he found himself addicted and in a place all alone and depressed, and a place where he thought there was no hope he could ever come out of it. But miraculously, he did. He found his sobriety in 2011, and now he has founded what's called Hope is Alive Ministries. He has 8 different houses now where addicts can come and he helps them get clean, and it's a job, let me tell you, but because of his past experience, he is great at coaching people, professionals, all kinds of people. He speaks at conferences and churches. He is just amazing. And his story is so impressive. And just as you've been so great giving your attention to us, please give your attention and welcome Lance Lang.
Students, I got 30 minutes to save your life. 30 minutes to keep you out of what was just there. Where did it go? It vanished. In that casket, and what appears there, those are mental images. Those are figurative. What's in this hand right here, these are literal lives that are gone. Men that were close to me, as Lori mentioned, who have moms and dads and children. They're a lot like you. This is Joel. Now, Joel lived with me in one of those houses that we just talked about. I watched as he found some sobriety. Every night I'd come back and he'd tell me about his day. He'd get a job and he was progressing through life. He was talking about seeing his son Cannon and having an experience with him. and what something happened, and slowly but surely he fell back into his addiction and he began to find opiates. Went from taking them, like we saw in that video, to injecting them into his arm. I'll never forget last August when his mom called and gave me the news that Joel had passed and asking me to do his funeral. Joel was a real person, just like Nathan. Nathan is not much older than many of you right now. Just like Joel, he fell slowly and surely, just like the story I'm about to tell you, into opiate use. From a handful of prescription pills that might be in your home right now, to again injecting heroin into his body. One day, too much, killing him instantly. I remember the call from his father, asking me to come to their home and sitting with them as tears streamed down their face, asking the question, why? 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 Nathan is real. These are two of 15 funerals that I've been a part of in just the past 2 or 3 years. Not a video, which was incredible and great and very descriptive and very much how things happen. Not a casket here, but real life human beings. So what I'm asking you to do is go with me on an experience here. I need all eyes closed in the room. Faculty, teachers, supporters, scary U.S. attorneys, everybody eyes closed. And go with me. Coaches, everybody. Everybody plays here. For the students, I need everyone to do this. Now students, listen to my voice. With your eyes closed, what I'd like you to do is fast forward your life 10 years. Students, pick the age that you'll be 10 years from today. Lock that into your mind. Now I want you to dream, students, please. Dream of what your life could be like. First off, pick a destination where you live. If you could have your dream life, where would you choose to live? Next, go with me on this journey and let's choose what you would be doing for a living. In this dream life scenario, what would you be doing? All eyes closed. Now go to that place, and what you're doing, and think about it, dream about what your life would be like. Who would be around you? What are the sights? What are the sounds? What are the smells? What is life like in your dream life, students? Use your imagination. If you could be anyone, if you could do anything 10 years down the road, what would you be doing? Where would you be? Who would be around you? What would your dream life look like? On the count of 3, open your eyes. 1, 2, 3. All eyes right here. I hope, students, that you dream big. I hope you dream big because you're worth that. There's something special about this crowd. We've done this 5 times. There's something special about this crowd. You're plugged in. You're engaged. Teachers, you've done a good job. But here's the deal. If I ask every single one of you to come down here and take the mic and tell us about your dream life. And we went one by one by one. And we just spent the next couple hours just listening to what your dream might be. It'd be a fun day, but I guarantee you nobody will come down here and take this mic from me and tell about your dream life and describe living a life full of drug addiction, isolation, reclusiveness, depression, and darkness. Nobody would come down here and tell me about a life at 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 that's full of emptiness. high school or prior middle school, when I was there and you asked me to do that, my dream life wouldn't have looked like that either. But guess what? That's what I got. That's what I got. 27 years old, 50 pain pill addiction a day. Not being able to go a single hour without putting something in my body, completely reclusive, all by myself. No one wanting anything to do with me, having lost all my hopes and dreams, separated from those that I love. That's the life that I got. And students, I came here to tell you today, and this started with one single choice. Because of all day, I was a football player, I was a junior, right down the road. Practice was over. I was putting my pads in the locker. Just a normal afternoon, nothing was really different about this day. Up until this moment, I'm putting my pads in the locker. Right next to me is what many would call the best football player on the team. Not to mention he was a senior, I was a junior, so I naturally looked up to him. Not to mention he was a great looking guy, so all the guys wanted to be his best friend, all the girls wanted to date him. He was the man. What I'm trying to say is he was someone who had influence in my life. Nod your head if you're with me. This influential person in my life was sitting right next to me. We were putting our pads in the locker, and out of nowhere he looks right at me and he says this. Hey Lance, very quietly he says, do you want to get high today? Weird question, right? Never been asked that before. Never really talked about that at all. Of course, I'm not naive. I had heard about it. I knew other people had done different things, but I had never done anything. I'd never seen anything face to face. And there I was with this guy of influence in my life. He was looking at me and he was asking me this question. Listen to me, students. This is important. He said, do you want to get high today? If I was just real with you, all these thoughts just flooded in my head. What would it feel like? What would happen? What would we do? What's that even like? What would people think about if they even saw me hanging out with this guy? Would this make me cooler? Would people think that my status was improving? What would happen? And all these thoughts would flooded through my mind in milliseconds. But for whatever reason, that first time I said no. But here's what I came to tell somebody this morning. Just because you say no the first time doesn't mean you won't be tempted again. And you have to resolve in your heart of hearts, and I hope many of you will do this, that you will draw a line in the sand today. You have to resolve in your heart of hearts that you will not cross over this line no matter how many times you might be tempted. Because the temptations keep coming. The very next week, I'm in that same locker room, in the same very scenario. Putting our pads back in the locker after a hard day of practice. This influential, star running back, outside linebacker comes up to me. Somebody who had so much power and influence in my life. And he looks at me for the second time and he says, hey Lance, do you want to get high today? This time he says it a little louder. Did he do it on purpose? I don't know. But it was louder, and why I say that is because other people heard it. And sometimes even the influence of those around us shapes what our response might be. So there I am. He says it a little bit louder the second time. By this point I thought about it even more. But I said no the second time, but I added a little tagline on it. I said, no, not today. Just casually he asked me, I said, man, no, not today. And what I was doing, whether I knew it or not, is what maybe you might be doing today with some temptation in your life as it pertains to drugs and alcohol. What I was really saying was, no, but just ask me one more time and I'm in. I was justifying in my head and in my heart what I would eventually do in my life. I was saying, no, not today. I left the door cracked open. I allowed for another temptation moment to happen. I didn't resolve myself to say, no, don't ask me again, stay away from me. Coach moved me lockers, coach this guy had asked me to do something. I didn't get help. I didn't reach out to somebody in my family. I just said, no, not today, very quietly to myself. And guess what happened the very next week? Same thing happened again. Temptation right in front of me. Practice is over, putting the pads in the locker. Same scenario. He says it even louder this time. More people know it. I was the quarterback of the team. People were looking at me. What is my response going to be? Hey, Lance, do you want to get high again? And the third time is the day that I made a choice that changed my life forever. You see, life change happens in choices, but oftentimes there's moments behind it that build. Small little choices that you might make that lead you to a place where you make one big decision and the rest of your life is altered. Nobody is sitting here saying, I want to die in an overdose. We're not stupid enough to think that, neither are you. But what happens is one small choice along the way, where you are right now, all lies right here. In the situations and circumstances in your life today, from 12 to 18, whatever the age ranges are, this is memorable, moving, important times in your life. The small decisions lead to big ones, and the big ones can change the rest of your life. That day I made a big choice, and it changed me forever. I smoked marijuana for the very first time. And you know what? You're growing up in a very interesting time in life where you're having to make a choice. Is marijuana dangerous? Is marijuana a drug? Let me just tell you, I've heard thousands upon thousands of drug addict stories. Many that have led to death. Real life, heroin addicted, homeless, on the street, drug addict stories. Every single one of them, all lies right here, started with someone beginning to smoke marijuana. I don't care if it's legal or not, it will kill you. One way or the other. That day, I smoked marijuana for the very first time, and instantly everything changed in my life. Instantly, everything in my brain began to change. The chemistry of who I was. My friend group, my ambitions, things that I love to do, I began to quit. Like playing on course like this. Like hanging out with the friends that were actually caring about me, that were doing the right things, that loved me and supported me. I shunned them, I turned my back on them, and I began to run with people that were doing things that weren't right, doing illegal things, participating in drugs and alcohol every single day. See, something about me changed. From that very first time I smoked marijuana, I wanted to do it again, 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 every day, over and over and over again. And guess what happened? The next thing I know, that friend group that I'm with that were just smoking marijuana, all of a sudden meth introduced. So I went on a long stint with methamphetamines. All the time smoking marijuana and drinking alcohol. And then one night crack cocaine is introduced. And then one night ecstasy and acid is introduced. And choice after choice after choice after choice led me to a place where one night I found a prescription sitting in my medicine cabinet from, guess what? A wisdom tooth surgery. And they took hold of my life. They grabbed me by the gut. Tore me down one day at a time, one pill at a time. I started with a couple pills every night. Pretty soon it was 3, 4, 5, 6 at a time every night. They got further and further ingrained into my body, and my physical chemistry, and my makeup, and I had to have more and more and more, so I started taking them in the morning, and then in the afternoon, and the next thing I know, it's morning, noon, and night, morning, noon, and night, morning, noon, and night. The cycle's out of control, and I'm beginning to ruin everything in my life. At this point, I had a couple kids. I never forget it. One night I came home, I saw this orange truck backed up into my house, and I saw as my little son was walking up a steel ramp with a toy in his hand. And behind him, my little daughter carrying a teddy bear. I'm not making this up. As they walked up a ramp and they moved out of my life. But that wasn't enough to make me stop. I watched as my parents begged and pleaded me, please stop. We know you're stealing from your sister. We know you're stealing from your grandma. Please, we'll do anything when you just stop. It wasn't enough. And I found myself 10 years from where you are today in that situation that I described earlier. Isolated, reclusive, depressed, drug addicted. Thanks be to the one above, I was able to slowly pull myself out. Someone just like on that video began to step into my life, and they intervened on me in a moment. And they offered me something so powerful. They offered me the power of hope, of a better future, of something else out there for me to grab a hold of. They talked to me about sobriety, and they talked to me about getting my life back, and actually having a purpose for my life, and restoring everything, and chasing after those dreams that were really placed inside of me right where you are in life today. And just like that teacher in that video, someone offered me some hope. And I'm just here today hoping that maybe I'm that person for you that's here loud enough, yelling at you, to shake you, to know that you are worth taking a step towards freedom. You are worth taking a step towards life change. And you might be saying, man, I'm not even there yet. But I've seen it in my home. Or Lance, I'm just beginning to be tempted, but I've seen it in my friends. That's okay, take a step. Ask for some help. Pull me aside, pull any of these people behind me aside. But maybe today, who I'm talking to is someone that's right in the middle of it. And the picture that I just painted is what the next 10 years will unfold in your life if you do not do something different today. And so what I'm here to do is to tell you this. For years and years and years, we've rallied around a campaign that says, just say no. I'm here to tell you, just say yes to your friends that love you, to the faculty that supports you, to the family that you can trust in and believe in you, that has a safe environment for you, but most importantly, say yes to the dreams inside your heart. Say yes to what moves you and motivates you. Say yes to those people that are there pulling you to the right side of the road, because I know you know right from wrong. I can see it in your eyes. Say yes to that. Say yes to those people. Say yes to the future that you are so worth it. Faculty and teachers, can you nod your head in agreement? These students are worth it. Heads are nodding everywhere. They're worth this. You're worth this. You're worth this. I'll say it over and over and over again. You're worth it. You do not have to go down the path that I went down. I only tell you because I want you to know the truth. One choice can change your life. And if you open that door, I'm telling you, and you choose to walk through it, you'll never walk back through that door again the same. Everything is different. So you have a couple options. Today you can say yes to the dreams inside your heart, and you can resolve in your gut to say, I'm never crossing that line ever in my life. I will not be that statistic. I will not be in that casket. Today is something different. Today I make a change because yes, I am worth it. Thank you for your time.
About all the mistakes he's made and stealing and this and that, losing his kids. That's hard. Let's give him another big round of applause. We care about you. There's all kinds of help available. There are all kinds of adults who want to help you. You can meet with them in private and just pull them aside, and they will do everything they can to help. These folks over here have all kinds of phone numbers and help for you. Race over there, guys. Pick up a card from them if you want to take it home later and give it to your mama, or give it to somebody that you care about. If it's not you, but you know somebody or a friend's mom, grab that card and have that for later, so they can have a place to call and get help. If you know somebody who's having this problem, you can't help them by yourself. You need professionals. I just want to thank you guys so much. He's right. You guys are unique and special from all the assemblies we've done. You guys really rocked and were so respectful, and we appreciate that.